Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.
Hello and welcome to another special edition of the Brunch Show with me, Joy Wama. And of course, I'm not alone in the studio. I have on my immediate right Mr. Lamin Cham, who's from the Standard newspaper, and of course, Mr. Mustafa K. Dabo, who is from the Kerr. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Joy.
So today we'll go straight to the newspaper review. Mr. Lamin, what do you have for us?
Okay, welcome once again. Like usual, the story that broke towards the end of the week suddenly occupies most people's mind, and that is the report of the Social Security Presidential Panel's investigation. And we also have, of course, in the middle of the week, or at the beginning of the week, so to speak, the formal launch of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission. We had very inspiring speeches that were made there. And we will also look at the small matter of the Gambia suffering a home defeat that effectively dented our chance in the African Nations Cup qualifiers 2019. So this, and perhaps if time allows, a little bit more, much more will be discussed in the press review this morning.
Thank you very much, Lamin. Now I'm really interested in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's launch. How did it go?
Yes, it really was a very solemn occasion, if you like, and like as expected, it attracted a lot of international and local dignitaries. And that, I think, gave it a lot of credence, a lot of credibility. And what I gathered is that despite all what people, or opinion leaders, or let's say critics, you might even say about the TRRC, I realized that there is a lot of goodwill and of course the willingness on the part of the government and the international community to see that the TRRC actually come into fruition. So I was impressed by the amount of, the nature of the guests who were there and the support the international community gave to the process. So that made me believe that yes, despite all what misgivings people are expressing, there is definitely a need and a desire across the board for people to see that the TRRC actually come into effect. And the president said that our motto should be never again should a group of people, minority people, unleash such terror and such a dictatorship on the majority. I think that is very, very important. And then, of course, there have been issues like advices from international personalities, such as the ICC Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda, who was there. And one of the things they said that the TRRC should not be an avenue for witch hunting or settling of political scores. Right. I think that is very important. But then, of course, from the very beginning, the TRRC have said they are going to make sure that they are independent of anybody, including, of course, the government. That they wouldn't go under the influence of anybody. So the 11 commissioners who were sworn in, each of them took the vow that their work is going to be independent of government interference. So it was important that day it was highlighted there that the commission should not be used to settle political scores. And then, of course, there was this victim, the head of the victim center, who made a very, very telling, I mean, a very frank talking, actually. He reminded the president that this is not just an occasion where we launching, you know, the beginning of an, you know, probe into what had happened on the Jambi, but lessons should be learned by the very fact that there is a TRRC, and that is the president must ensure that he doesn't or never repeat the mistakes of his predecessor. In other words, he doesn't want us to have another TRRC, God forbid, or another Jane Commission, or something like that after the president left. And the fact that he said this to the face of the president, actually, you know, it was really very inspired and very courageous. And, you know, and the president was in the audience, and he was being, I mean, addressed directly by a victim. That was quite a moment, and everybody felt that really was some frank talking. And everybody was impressed that such kind of things are coming at such occasions. So now then we go to the brass task, that is the actual work of the TRRC. From what we gathered from the body, they're going to start with, you know, I think they have line of what you may call, well, not necessarily star witnesses, but let's say core of witnesses who are going to start testifying on various matters. I think there will be testimony on media and some other bodies or, you know, section of the society who suffered, you know, on the Jambi. So then those people will testify as co-testify, and then they will start from a period to period, and then, you know, then of course other witnesses will be lined up, and then they will come to testify, and then perpetrators too will be called upon to come and, you know, and say what their roles are in whatever, and then perhaps ask for forgiveness or understanding or whatever. So we are now going into the nitty-gritties of the TRRC, and it really caught the world's attention when it was being launched. It was international news all over. So that shows that it is not a small matter. It's not something that we should play with or treat as a trivial matter. It's very, very important. So I don't know, Mustafa, what was your feeling when it actually came into being, the TRRC?
I think, like many Gambians, it was a relief. Even the president himself said that it took a long time for the TRRC to be established. We are 1 year, 6 months of Barrow's administration, and it's only then that TRRC was established. So it was a relief for him and for victims to ensure that TRRC established, because one thing that TRRC seeks to answer or unravel is the circumstances under which a lot of people have disappeared, a lot of people were tortured, a lot of people have lost their relatives and families, and they don't know their whereabouts. Some they don't even know where they are buried. And TRRC seeks to uncover that. So it was a very important moment for some of those people. I saw the brother of Ilo Jallo there, and it was quite emotional, him talking up to journalists about his brother and how his brother was mysteriously killed, and, allegedly, and you know, his car pushed.
See, the killing was managed to be an accident, allegedly.
Absolutely. So you could see that victims, not even Kijera alone, but you know, victims in a massive scale were all there, and, you know, and they were. It was an emotional period for them, because here is the start of a process that is going to answer for some questions that have been lingering in their minds for over 10 years.
20 years in some cases.
20 years in some cases.
In the case, of, for example, of, well, Deda, much has been said about that, about the guy from Bonto, the CCF, the former Action Aid man, I forgot his name. It has been 20 years now. And there's not
Basiru Barrows and
Basiru Barrow, 1994, and the other, and the 1994 abortive coup.
And the former accountant or the finance minister,
Koro Sise, all those are 20-something years ago.
Yeah, so it was a moment, a huge moment.
Yeah, but do you feel, as others felt, that, okay, despite whatever misgivings one may have of it, there is a need? When you went to that gathering, did you feel that, look, there's really a desire among people for these things to be on earth?
Absolutely. Not only is there a desire, but there is huge hunger for judicial justice. Because what TRRC seeks to do is to tell the story in a way that no court can do.
Yes.
Like TRRC would lay the stories bare for everyone to see. Now, but it's from that point that we would identify, or the country would identify, what stories, who goes to jail, who goes to court, and which kind of crimes do we take to court and things like that. Sure. Because, you know, some people will talk in behalf of TRRC, there may be a sort of what in America they would call a plea bargain.
Plea bargain, exactly.
So, you know, but there are certain crimes that cannot be forgiven. Like
yes,
crimes against
I was coming to that. What do you see the role of the ICC? Because, you know, we have a domestic issue when it comes to ICC, because the head is a Gambian, and she said her office will be monitoring the TRRC process, and where they are invited, they will, as provided by the Rome Statutes, continue their work, you know, independently as they are. But then there were criticisms that why was he not handy very much to talk on this issue when some of them were happening, like towards the end of Jammeh's regime, when these UDP people were subjected to these kind of things. There were a lot of pressure on her to talk. And she did talk. She said she didn't feel that at the time the kind of things that are happening amounted to the kind of attention. Yes, the crimes that can attract the attention.
Yeah, but the truth...
Do you believe her then?
The truth is that it's important she came, because it's better late than never. Yeah. But the fact of the issue is that was not true. She was just trying to save face. Yes. The fact is that there was a threat, an imminent danger of genocide. Yes. In the Gambia. Yeah. Jammeh stood at Talending and said some crazy statements that could have taken the country to war. Yes. It was just a similar statement, far less worse. Yeah. By Goodluck's wife.
Goodluck Jonathan.
I think in Nigeria. Jonathan's wife, a Nigerian politician. Yeah. I think in 2014 or thereabout.
And that drew condemnation from ICC.
Not only condemnation, but ICC warns that they will be responsible if there is any, you know, and that they will be watching. So ICC does intervene in those kind of issues and warn people that when there is an imminent danger of genocide, they do.
She did not believe at the time that...
So ICC does complementarity. Yes. In other words, what they do is that they intervene in cases that cannot be handled within the local... Yes. Like the locals cannot take in their courts. Yeah. So if the locals' capacity to handle cases such as crimes against humanity, genocide, that's when they intervene.
Those are international.
But if such a crime is imminent,
or such pronouncements,
enough reason for ICC
to make a statement.
To make a statement.
She did not do that at the time.
And she did not do that.
She said she didn't do that at the time. She didn't even respond to Jammeh's.
And that is why when she was ambushed, she was lured into an interview by an Al Jazeera journalist. Yes. And if you had watched that interview...
Yes, she said, I think I did.
If you watched that interview, you saw she was quite uncomfortable with questions
that come from Jammeh. Yeah. And perhaps the fact that she served Jammeh as Attorney General probably made it
played a crucial role.
Yeah, probably made her difficult to come out to criticize him when he was in power at the time.
Absolutely.
So how was her message received? I read the reactions. Some people are critical, some were sympathetic to her, well, some...
I don't think she deserves sympathy.
Really?
Not from me.
You just said that she came, it's better late than never.
It's better late than never, but what we are saying, we're talking about facts, things that she could have done.
Yeah, and didn't do that at the time.
So she also has a responsibility.
Yeah.
As not just a Gambian, but as someone who is an international figure, who participates in stopping major crimes from happening.
If she could do it elsewhere, in Kenya and other
Absolutely,
places.
in Kenya,
Why not
even,
in the Gambia?
Yeah, even when there is no crime, but there is a suspicion of crime.
They should issue statements.
Crimes that cover your mandate, which is genocide.
Exactly.
I mean, you are mandated to at least say something.
But then, of course, you could see Jammeh try to circumvent those issues by withdrawing us from the ICC, perhaps, you know, making her job easier, because she can always say, well, Jammeh actually took Gambia out of the ICC, so we have no mandate.
But even at that time, remember that when countries express their desire to pull out of ICC, it still takes them 1 year before the process is completed. So even at that time, Gambia was still part of ICC.
She could
until
still
December 2017, when Gambia government expressed their intention to return. In fact, we never left.
Yes, actually not complete. Before it would got completed.
Because the process was never completed.
When changes, when
so
the
we never left.
Yeah, but we expressed interest and it was coming.
Absolutely, it was coming, but we never left.
Perhaps Jammeh knew that, because he did that with the Commonwealth, for example, when he knows that he will come under pressure, but only when he's a member, he pull us out. He tried to pull us out from ECOWAS.
Absolutely.
So it is in the same spirit that he wanted to pull us out from ICC. Yeah. Now, there's another dimension, which obviously some people find very annoying. But then, of course, it's the freedom of expression of views. The opposition APRC, Jammeh's party officials, one of them, Yankuba Koli, said the TRRC is going to be witch hunting Jammeh. I mean, he quite a controversial view there.
Yeah. So Koli has the right to express his views in ways that he thinks are necessary. But let's not also forget, I would remind you of something that happened in this country.
Yeah.
If Gambians had wanted to pay back what happened in this country, you think we would have been in this state?
No, but
let's look at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we tend to take for granted what we shouldn't take for granted.
Yes.
I did a story in January 2017.
Yeah.
Immediately when Jammeh left.
Yeah.
And the story was about a woman whose husband, the woman has 10 children. His husband was working for Jammeh at the Kanilai farm. And the woman was going to take bath. And the husband, someone just came into the compound and tell the woman that you are required or requested to answer to someone at a corner shop. The husband left. And when the woman came out of the bathroom, asked the children where his husband was, said, well, he answered to someone at a corner shop. When he went to the corner shop to find out if he has gone to the corner the shop there, she was told that actually they saw her entering a car with 2 other people, a tinted vehicle. 10 years and counting, the woman has never heard from her husband. Now, think of the pain that woman go through and the pain that children go through. The last time you saw your husband was when she was entering into a car, leaving, never to come back. Now, this is the situation of some people. That is why when we are dealing with human rights violations of the past, we have rights to express ourselves, but we should do so with recognition that is a situation that some of those people went through. So that is why it often pains me when I hear people say certain things.
Okay, now
because that some people have gone through a lot of difficulty.
Now,
and they're seeing you are quite a powerful person. No one can stop you. You can say those in the media. But you should be sensitive to certain situations.
So you're suggesting, and then, I mean, that has been the views of many people, that the APRC bigwigs are still in denial, or because they certainly they live in this country 22 years.
Yes.
They certainly must know that something wrong has happened.
Look, Yankuba himself is standing with Jammeh, if Jammeh calls him, he runs to him. Why does he do that?
Yeah, and another.
He runs to him and you see him trembling.
Yeah,
everyone everyone, including military generals. We've seen it. Jambe does it in front, even on television screen. You see military generals sweating when Jambe is talking under an AC.
That's it.
Everyone plays witness to that. So if you are talking about something, you can be in denial. But a man, as a human being, you should be truthful.
So now, I think the criticisms that he got himself was that, why do you think we should just, be blinded with our political loyalties and fail to rise above those petty sentiments to recognize the wider picture, national issues. So,
take, for instance, the Faraba incident.
Yes, exactly.
Now, if you could have said, I support Barrow, I support the administration, the Faraba incident was supposed to have
people came out and condemned the acts of the police.
That is what a nationalist do. That is what a patriot does.
So the APRC bigwigs are still not trying to rise above the sentiments, of loyalties to Jammeh, to accept that things terribly went wrong on them, because they couldn't have said they didn't know. Where is Deda Haidara? They knew Deda Haidara is not alive.
They are people.
They knew that, and something must have happened to him. They knew a lawyer Silla was shot, and they knew all that. They knew the students were shot in April 2000. Yet they said these things should not be talked about because they amounts to witch hunting. Had they given themselves any respect?
No, I mean, that is why I personally...
Today you can see if something goes wrong, even people who were supporters of the coalition would come out and condemn it.
Because that is what a patriot does.
That's what a patriot does. So,
because governments, a leader is a servant of the people and must be seen to be doing things that people want him to do. Now, but if a leader does something that is not right or is affecting the rights of the people, it's the responsibility of everybody to come and condemn that.
Exactly. That is, of course, when there is general political education to know what is national interest and what is partisan interest.
Absolutely.
The APRC, according to Coley, according to his views, wanted to say that, I mean, this is just a witch hunt against Jammeh, the whole TRRC. So basically you are saying that he's just been unpatriotic or insensitive to people's feelings.
Insensitive to people actually, and quite often the APRC, the biggest support APRC has is in the Fonyies.
Yes.
Go to Fonyi and look at the amount of people and count the amount of people who have disappeared on the job.
Absolutely.
The story of this lady, I'm telling you, who works at a farm, Kanilai family farm, who lives in Fonyi.
So there is a definite need for the TRRCs to look into what has happened.
Absolutely, and document these cases. Not that Jammeh should,
whatever the outcome, but it should come out.
So that it's documented and let future generation of leaders learn from this.
They believe that the exposures and the revelations are going to be used by the coalition government, so to speak, to discredit Jammeh further. But can anybody control that?
So be it.
No one can control what will happen because they happen on the Jammeh. So that's the issue surrounding the TRRC, and I'm sure people will have their comments on that. Now let's move on. And I think this is another issue that people will say, well, perhaps let's look at it. The deputy director of the former NIA, Louis Gomez, died in custody, or at least when he's still been detained. The Chief Justice just issued a press release to say a coroner's inquest has been set up to look into it. And then there are issues like prison officials denying that they did not put them in solitary confinement. Now, didn't this again raise issues similar to some of the issues that we used to encounter on the Jammeh?
Absolutely.
People die in detention.
Absolutely. And I think the condition at NIA, at mile 2 are not quite very favorable.
They're still not favorable.
Yes. I mean, a lot of people have gone there, including a member of the current prison reform team. And they came out to say the conditions they've seen inside those walls, it's terrible, and it's still terrible. So, and then I think one of the failures of the Barrow regime is the time that it takes them to reform those places.
It's taking too long.
It should not cost much money to paint those walls and buy some new mattresses just for people to use.
And I still find some funny laws that are still in place, like you and I, who are well-recognized journalists, cannot get access automatically. They must they must refer to some people on top. Even if I go there in my capacity as an ordinary person to check on a prisoner or a detainee, they would still have to get clearance from top, before I can get in there. And I think all this suggests that they are hiding something. It shouldn't be like that. And like you said, I agree.
The situation
1 year down, the place should be improved.
It should improve,
given the fact that prominent members of the government have been there. They know what is there. So if they come out, their immediate priority is to make the place, habitable, at least for human beings.
I saw a lot of people who are talking with emotions. You see, if you read Desmond Tutu's book on, I think no peace without reconciliation. One thing that it teaches you is that when society is bent on revenge, it goes through a cycle of war that never ends. When you hack me to death, my child would hack me to death.
It's a cycle, a vicious cycle. Continuously. That's what happened in Liberia and Sierra Leone.
So at some point someone must be able to say, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So the forgiveness starts with someone.
Yeah.
So that is one thing we would do in this society, for the society to heal. So it makes no sense for anyone to justify that because some people died in the hands of this gentleman, if he dies in prison, so who cares? I think that is ridiculous.
Nobody should die in prison. No matter who that person is.
Unattended, especially when...
So who should we blame, so to speak, or we should blame the circumstances they were kept on, or they were...
Well, I would wait until the coroner's inquest makes their findings.
But then,
because
of course,
he may also have died of natural circumstances.
Right. Yeah,
but some problems before
health. But then, of course, aren't those signs, signals, or symptoms noticed by the authorities to get him to stay in hospital all the time?
That is the relevant question.
That's a relevant question.
That's the relevant question.
It's really.
I was
really
similar
when
it happened.
Yeah,
so I wasn't here to do.
I'm sure the prison authorities or the government will be suddenly embarrassed by this act because it's the kind of.
Really.
Okay. Now, we move on. I said a small matter, but it definitely broke people's hearts when the Gambia got defeated at home in the very last minutes of the encounter between us and Togo. And then the developments such as the Gambia actually protesting to CAF that one of the Togo players who played in the first leg between them in Lome probably may not be qualified to play for it. That is there. But while you were not at the match though, but how do you feel as a Gambian football fan when?
Well, you see, me and football, Gambian football, I kind of expect anything. So I am here. I'm open to a lot of things.
So you want to say that you were not surprised that we were defeated?
No, I'm never surprised.
Because you knew you are ever skeptical about Gambia's chances. Always.
Because look, the fact of the issue is Gambia doesn't want to progress.
But how?
No, but even our football administration.
What this brought to light was that, okay, do you blame the players here or you blame the administration?
No,
the administration would tell you.
I blame the administration.
No, the administration would tell you, we have provided everything that these football players need. We got them on a good flight to Lome with all their bonuses. We came and lodged them in a good hotel. We paid their bonuses. One of them, in fact, gave his bonuses, allowances to Sona, to spectators.
Yes.
Well, we cannot physically move from the stands and come and play and tell them how to play.
But what they can do is to create good players. Now,
how can they create good players from the league? Because all the players come from leagues outside.
No, but it's the part of the responsibility. That is where Gambia, that is the next phase of Gambia. If we are serious about our football, we will do two things. First, we will fix our administration, football administration. Two, we will begin to build a team.
That's quite
now, what we don't have is a team. Yeah. Now, you are coming to start a football. Yeah. You bring someone from Sweden.
Yes.
That has not Sweden. I can go and play in Sweden.
So you
go bring someone from some country that.
But those are the ones we have. We don't have them in the Premier League.
Yeah, but
or the La Liga. So those are the ones we have.
Now we need to begin to build footballers. $50.
Yes.
What does our footballers do? Now, when you go to China, you play at a first division league, you buy a Benz and you come to the Gambia.
Yes.
Now, think of even our past under 17. Think of the players that they played with. Marcelos, I mean,
they are still
Obi.
but that's true. That's one point you raised. That
so
is the whole.
Others progress and we retrogress.
Yeah,
it doesn't
the
make
whole
sense.
structure. In fact, somebody has a much more perhaps controversial view. Said, look, we should withdraw from all competition.
My view.
And come
Exactly
down and
view.
work 4 years.
5 years.
5 years or
5
so.
years.
Because it doesn't make point each time you appear in the competition and you waste money
and what
people
does,
don't
who
progress.
does that favor? The GFF.
Well,
because it's the
officials.
GFF that is now taking money from FIFA
Absolutely.
on claims that we are doing X, Y, and Z, but they're not doing anything in reality.
Controversial
so we
issue
go
there.
from football, close our door,
Yeah.
and build our own team. We've built some very, very good players in the Gambia that have went and beat Brazil, they beat Mexico, they beat teams.
Absolutely.
So that means if we can build that at junior team, we've always done well at junior team.
Yeah.
So
but
if we can,
even there, the argument has stated that we have not been honest ourselves in our football, and that is, we call people under 17 who are under 21 or 22. That's what the example you are getting. The team we beat in Brazil in September 2005 in the world under 17. Some of them are still playing for Brazil. But because they were under 17 in 2005, when we were having a team that was over 25. So naturally they will fade away when these people are still at their crib. Before they reach what we believe should be their peak, they are already old in reality. And then of course, you know, this matter of football administration is quite a controversial issue. Whatever opinion you express, I think the whole thing is polarized. You make an opinion, you are classified to be an opponent.
Well,
and you know, and the thing is, and you know what? It's only 71 or so people drawn from the regions and from the clubs and perhaps affiliate associations who put in football administrators. And I've always argued that these people are not the only stakeholders of football. And often the football administrators only take that those are the people who matters. And now what happened at the stadium? Where were those 71 people when the whole tens of thousands of people were angry? Where were those 71 stakeholders?
Thank you.
So I think the administrators should realize that it is not just the people who vote you, 71 of them. You may have influence over them. You know, you control them, no problem. But the hundreds of thousands of football fans are equally stakeholders. Absolutely. Now look what happened at the stadium the last time. Tens of thousands of people were angry. So they should realize that stakeholders are more than just the people who are voting, and they should work for the interest of football.
Absolutely.
But then, of course, they came out with something that, if successful, I hope, as a Gambian, I hope they succeed. They believe that the match in Lome, this player, James Olufade, they believe is not or has not fulfilled one of 4 conditions that you must fulfill to play for this. And yes, they said one, according to them, they said he probably doesn't have his father or mother born in Togo, or his grandmother or father born in Togo, or he probably stayed there 14 years or so in Togo before. They believe that all 4 of those conditions, all 4 have not been met, and they have appealed. So they said they are hoping that if there is overturn, we'll have 3 more points. But that will take us to 5 points. Benin and Algeria are still ahead of us, and they have 2 matches.
We will go and waste our time again.
So you mean it's just a distraction?
Thank you very much, Mr. Lamin Cham. It has been an insightful news review by Mr. Lamin Cham. Over to Mr. Mustafa Dabo. What do the Fatou website have for us?
Thank you, Joy. It's been an eventful week. I will focus on things that Cham has focused on, and also what is trending, which is the social security issue. We've seen that the panel that has investigated social security has finalized their findings, and they have submitted it to the presidency. But unlike other commissions, these people have already let the cat out of the bag. At least they appear to have.
Yes.
So they've revealed something that appeared to favor or exonerate Manjang, Mohamed Manjang, the current director who is under suspension. at least as it is right now.
Right.
He's
But why
under
do you-
suspension with Mr. Kamara.
Why do you think that the gist of this commission report came out almost immediately it was presented and not the Faraba one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a deliberate intention from the side of the commissioners, or probably they are not so, you know, people can keep information than others. Some are like soldiers, some are not like soldiers.
Probably they don't like the precedents of the Faraba commission. They want to silence over it.
But somehow deliberately they tend to
came out.
they throw the president to the public.
Yes.
To say, look,
They
we
not
have done our job and this is our finding. If he didn't do anything, it's his business. Somehow they've managed to do that, and that's good for me.
That's good.
At least the public knows that
This is what has been recommended.
But not everything is known.
So Mustafa, I am very interested in this topic because we had a similar conversation in a few of our episodes that we had. And reading through the website, I was able to gather the information that during the report by the commissioners that they are as well accusing the staffers of the Social Security for not abiding by the rules and regulations of the laws of the company. So what do you make of this? Do you think that those in question, that is over the staffers, the people that were in the, how do you call it?
The strike.
The strike, did not do their homework well before getting into what they have gotten themselves to? And secondly, do you think that based on this that the commissioners have brought, they might be fired?
I think so. I think what the commission recommended, I was there and I was listening to the chair of the commission with a veteran civil servant, Samate. He is currently the one who is at the head of the Civil Service Commission.
Yeah.
So what Samate said was that this staff who demonstrated have violated the Labour Act, Gambia's laws on demonstration, and also the regulations governing social security.
Yeah.
So you could see that they've both violated the internal mechanisms or laws and instruments of the social security and also the laws of the country with relation to Labour Act and demonstration. You understand?
Yeah.
So because of that, he's recommending that they be fired, but he's not recommending that they be fired because of those laws. Because there has been a prior investigation or assessment of social security by an audit firm, which recommended that social security, because of the financial situation of the company, some people should be laid off and some people should be moved to other companies or other institutions. So because of that, some people should be retrained, and it is suspected that because of that, the staff started the problem.
Yes.
So these people are now saying they are recommending to the board for not only should those people who strike should be punished, but also the audit
recommendation of that audit exercise
should be implemented.
Now my take
so these are the two things now we are dealing with.
My take is, from the very moment I read and saw the composition of the panel, headed of course by that eminent Mr. Samate, I'm not trying to say I foresee their bias, but I knew that they were certainly going to vindicate. The report will certainly...
why?
Yeah, because you know why? Those people were trained, cultured, and they spend all their life under the GO, that is the General Orders, that protects civil service. You see, and during that time you could see how civil service was orderly. I tell you, even before independence, I read, Prime Minister Sadauda, even ceremonies, the sitting order goes according to seniority. You understand me? Sadauda then was Prime Minister. Sirif Sise was Minister of Finance, but then he was most senior in the government. And if Jawara went away, he was the most senior in the government. Even if they go to ceremonies, Jawara sits here, Sirif sits here. They go in that order. The civil service was so orderly and so respectful. And these people spend all their life in that. And suddenly I know if they were the ones who has to investigate this matter, that we already know the gist of it, suddenly they will certainly really recommend.
So you will see also.
You can see.
I may add. You have a question.
Yeah.
You can ask.
My question was to, in regards to Manjang, wherever he is, you think he will be smiling because he has been vindicated to an extent?
In a way, but I think also Manjang has some problems. I honestly differ with the commission in terms of their recommendation, because I think fundamentally that Manjang also, based on what we've seen, lacks some sense of discipline. I mean, I know he's a very famous...
Are you talking about the spending, the party's been thrown
not
on
the
him?
spending. Remember that Manjang traveled out of the Gambia, went to Senegal.
Yes.
He was supposed to travel to Sierra Leone.
Yes.
You know that the only approved days for him to travel was 3 days from the State House. But he attempted to travel to Sierra Leone.
From Dakar?
From Dakar. He could not go because he did not have
permission.
Not permission, flight.
Flights.
So he would have traveled.
Yes.
And his justification for that was that his administrative cost was going to be financed by the, I don't know, the Social Security. So the Sierra Leone's equivalent of Social Security,
yes, that's right,
would have financed his travel. They are celebrating, I think, their 50-year anniversary.
Yeah.
So that is a sign of indiscipline. You don't do that. You don't attempt to travel. Your approval was 3 days. And you want to travel for 10 days. You've left your work post for 10 days. Now what is happening is that, if, let's suppose he did not even receive per diem for...
But how do we know about all this?
Because there are internal documents confirming it.
Exactly. Okay, now.
So the problem is, let's even say that Manjang has not been paid per diem for those 7 days.
Yes.
The cost of travel is in twofold.
That
One, per diem, and two,
absence from
cost,
work.
the absence from work.
But
so that is not discipline.
Strike that, balance that with the fact that Manjang produced 15 possible travel opportunities.
Yes.
That he trashed.
And declined.
Declined and said, this is not the interest of the social structure, so I'm not traveling.
Yeah, but he traveled.
Now listen.
Yeah.
How much per diems or perhaps benefits could he have accumulated from those travels if he was like Mustafa or me, who really want to globetrottle and jump on any available flight?
Okay, I like that argument.
So I commended that. Yes. Well, this could be an isolated...
I commended that, but this is...
I know you have every justification to condemn this if it actually happened.
Yeah.
But
it did.
Yes, no, but I mean, when the things came, we saw a lot of, official documents, confidential documents come out left and right and center. Yeah. That was what I hate about all things. Yeah. All the little details that should have been confidential, company confidential, they all came out, within that period, which I hated a lot. But these could be, in the generality of things, an isolated case, given the fact that the amount of discipline he wanted to inject in it. You will be disappointed, yes, because you know what he tried to bring in.
And not only that, but how about the lady who went to Ghana to study ACCA?
Well, he said,
and the gentleman who went to study ACCA?
He said he believed that the lady deserved it.
No.
And it was not even him who recommended that.
Even he does not recommend that child. You and I know that is absurd. Because the basic fact is that even a child on the street knows you can do ACCA at MDI.
Yeah.
You can do it at GTTI. You can do it at a lot of institutions where you can do ACCA. Why would someone leave Gambia to Ghana to study ACCA? It doesn't make sense.
If that was the only courses went there for argument. But then, of course...
So left to me alone, he also will be fired. I will fire the staff, of course, obviously.
But all 200 staff, that's what I'm trying to say.
Not all 200.
What will the president do now?
But a number of them who violated the law.
Of course, it's all of them. Because
at some point, the president
the way they were working, they work as a unit. You touch one, they all...
so be it. Let it go.
Let's take the dilemma the president faces now. What will he do now? Is he going to fire all 200 people, which is very unlikely? And I know Barrow's style, he doesn't want to hurt both sides.
So if you actually...
I can see Barrow, because he even hinted that he was going to consult his team.
Yes.
I can see Barrow coming out with a compromise. Say, look, you know what? Okay, Mr. Manjang can go to work, but so you guys change your stand and continue.
I agree with
that's
you.
Barrow's style. He doesn't want to hurt anybody.
That's a good
So
one.
I agree with you. I think nothing is happening to anyone.
Anyone, yes. They will just
That
bury
is
the.
bad.
He might say just bury the hatchet and we
Yeah,
move.
but that is bad because look, at some point we have to establish some standards here. At some point, because leadership is also taking bold decisions.
Right.
You know, at some point we will have to say enough for this kind of things.
Yeah.
People must start to work right now. Yeah. You can't leave your work post unguarded and go and stand on the road. It makes sense. If you are not angry, if you are not happy, there are channels to follow.
Even the ombudsman came back to say that, well,
and
the way we
the
channel
soldiers, the police, the SIS have to all be there. That is
even the ombudsman came and said the way we protest, you know, the way we express our grievances, like going on illegal strikes, are not the way because we are hurting the public we are serving.
Yeah. So this is what is trending actually. I have done your must job because this is everyone is talking about this. And we've covered it, Kerr, Fatou, both a story and also So another thing that I think is very interesting, and we've covered that, is the Gambia getting observer status at the International Organization of Francophonie. Now, of course, this is misunderstood as Gambia selling its sovereignty or becoming a French colony. I think it may have been motivated by
economic senses of
the so-called goodwill that France extended to
the Gambia during the crisis.
Gambia. You know, they've made a 50 million pledge. They're currently in the Gambia to do an experiment on all year-round pharmacies in the CR, and so they're also funding. Part of the people who are also funding the economic extension because it's done by
of course, it's done by the.
But also the Senegalese intervention in Gambia has been helped greatly by France. So I don't know if you have time. I'll just mention some few headlines.
Yeah.
We'll just take a short commercial break, and after that we'll be right back with a lot more interesting sessions of this show.
Commonly known as Binta Skincare. Mom la ma ñu bari xamé sama mag daf ma day wax né fim nek ni jaay nga sa santa bi santa Tulo Touré santa Tulo Jaañ légui skincare nga santa Binta Skincare la ma ñu bari xamé dama di jaay yu bari ma ngi ci jënd ak jaay everything lo xamné dafa rafetal jigen bégal jigen téral jigen ci yoy lay yëngu so dafa xalat na xari pour mané li lay jaay waaye li ma nit ñi gën a xamee mooy skincare products mooy li enhance not li taaral jigéen sax waaye li gën a yokk taari jigéen because jigéen moom fa taaru ba pare waaw diw yi maa jaay mostly mun naa wax ne 80% of suñ diwi France lañ comme yi demee ni 55H plus Kiwi Eye François Bedon Patricia Reina and HD26 you know, Macari, just pour lim a few, A3 and François Bedon. And what inspired me actually to come home and do this is I have a very strong sense of home. I love my country and I have a lot of respect and regard for the Gambians. Man dama believe ne lu baax rek Gambian be ko deserve. Sama mbokki Sénégalais bi xam naa doo ci mer sax dinaa ne Sénégambien man daanaka mun naa xam ne si jënd ak jaay laa juddoo ci laa yaroo ci laa màggee suma maam ki jur suma pa was a big trader moom daan jënd gerte di jaay tubaab bi Bansang so maa daan yóbbu man may sit bi daan yóbbu añ most of the time so si jaaya jëndal laa juddoo ma jógee foofu sumay daf daan defar ndéewoo di jaay ñun ñoo daan supply Watna Beach Hotel bi ñoo build Watna Beach Hotel man Nusrat High School laa jàngee so duñ daan am school actually yeah dañ am school Fridays I don't remember it's been a long time ago but dama daan remember man I was very young man maa nekkoon accountant Ismaïla bi so last Friday of the month su tombe last day of the month rather bés bu munta ka daan tombe rek man duma daan dem school maa daan dema suma book calculate kan moo jël ndéewoo ñaata nga fay ma binda so comme ni ma ko waxee rek business laa juddoo ci laa yaroo ci laa màggee Latrikunda fii Latrikunda yëri nga ñaa laa màggee so ñëpp xamee nañ ma jaay ndéewoo jaay akara jaayal suma akara so man maa nekkoon jàng bu nga xam ne damaa solo ba kiiw ba pare ñoo toog si boppi koñ bi di jaay so I never shied away from that that's my passion wow I love to service people through selling so loolu suma passion la so suma motivation I am self-motivated because I always want to improve upon myself so kenn mënuma motivate I am self-motivated but inspired by a lot of people especially my mom yeah one of the main challenges yi ma njëkkoon a face mooy dañ daan suma brother dama ko daan yónnee muy jël di lebale ci offices yi and then at the end of the month ñu fayee ko so the main challenge bi njëkkoon a face mooy fayee ko bor bi xam nga da ngaa leble fayee ko beeg yooyu noonu loolu was a big challenge so ñu decide pour shy away from lebale bi ubbi boutique suñ first boutique bi was at Westfield so at that time we were just testing the water pour mun a xam Gambien si lan lañ bugga ak lan lañ bëggut ak yooyu so bi ma study the market ba understand exactly nit ñi lan lañ gën a bugga si lañ expand and opened up here but fay bor bi was my number one challenge so loolu tax with the shop is cash based you cash and you carry yes and a second challenge bi ma experience bi ma just ubbee was sa bagage dañ cher but xam nga rek nit ki tam foog nga gëm sa boppa and I was determined ne duma water down li ma jaay dama gëm li ma jaay fam baaxee lay jëndee indi waaw ma continuer noonu rek léegi sax ma am ñu ne ma waaye da nga koo jaxasee nga indi yeneen yu gën a yomba nii ma ne leen no so but that was a challenge waaye fi mu nekk nii ñëpp understand nañ waaw I stuck my ground and compromise suma si benn boor ma continuer rek di indi quality yi ma indi yes we do have a staff of 1 2 3 4 5 6 am nañ a staff of 6 and suñ first staff bi ki ma njëkk a gën a gërëm mooy my cleaning lady Auntie Christine Mom, I mean, she puts a smile on my face every single day. Every day, is mu duggee ci boutique bi rek, it looks like Taylor Ibi. So man pour man moom moo gën a important ñun ñëpp parce que set dafa baax set dafa ibi wërsëg. So pour fu weexee nii nga maintain ko nii for 2 years, you definitely have to give credit to the person that keeps it this way. So loolu passé my security because I'm very keen on security because dama bëgg pour su customer dugga see fii mu feel very comfortable ne fii kat du ma fi réer la dara mbaa fii du ma fi dugga sax kenn di ma aggress xam nga so security is very important to me so that credit goes to G4S Security Services ñoom ñooy they provide with security and then am na a staff of 3 young ladies Fatou Bintou Koli moom she's my niece moom she has been with me for a very very long time and Kadi Manjang moom mooy my second staff and then Awa moom mooy suñ chat. So those are all my staff and our night security, Buba, Mom Tamit, Mo Aliu, ñu ngi leen a gërëm. So in total a staff of what? How many did I count? 9, 6, something like that? Yes. So part-time, rotating. Oh. Yes. Skincare plus, yes. But more emphasis on skincare. We're bigger on skincare. We're more about skin. Then the plus stands for everything else. Plus bi ci daala yi laak polo shirts yeeg kong yi ñoo jaay ak yéet yeeg kecax yeeg diwtiir yeeg plus bi fala ak cuubi of course cuubi dama dee def su ma jógee Amérique ñëw baax yi gën a baax Amérique ma jënd indil waa Banjul but then su ma dellu tamit baax yi gën a baax fii yi nga xam ne yooyu lañ dee nama ma jënd yooyu yóbbu this time nititu sax dina ñëw ko boobu laka sax dina ñëw wow so you know I just love to put a smile on people's faces wow that's my passion. To me, everybody is my client, to be honest, and you know, we are very big on that. Keep pack the Mercedes-Benz in front of Skincare Plus, that they the same treatment ak ki wàcce si taxi, ak ki wàcce si ki doxa tànka. As long as buying as a soxla yi bàyyi yeneen bitik yëpp dugga si Skincare Plus rek, you are our queen of the moment or our king of the moment. So, and then loolu it's very important because sometimes ki doxa tànka ñëw ba ki dugga taxi ñëw li moo spend ki paak moto bu cher du ko spend. So duñ xaaja duñ dee differentiate. Everybody suñ customer la, and we treat everybody with the same smile, the same respect, ak the same warm welcome. In 5 years, inshallah, I see us expanding into other things though, not just skincare products, but other things. We have other things in the works, but you know, yalla most likely and you know, we proud to bring the best in Gambia. Yes. Lu baax rek man dama bëgg mu ñëw fii suma customers yi li ma leen bëgg a wax fi ma njëkk a bëgg a commencé mooy di leen jërëjëfal because without them we are nothing. We cannot be Skincare Plus without our customers. So dañoo xëy suba ba ngoon di dabu seen bànneex ñoom. So I mean any day customer ñëw fii génna without a smile, my day is not made. So putting a smile on their faces makes my day. So ñoom dama ko dee wax suma partners, I call them partners. These are not my staff, they're my partners because together we can take this business to another level. So our customers are the most important person. Dama leen dee wax sax all the time, suma customers are important man because they are the reasons why we open our doors every day. ñoom ñoo tax ñuy ibbi every day because you know what, suñ leen soxla wutoon duñ doon ibbi dañ doon toog seen kër rek all day long. So they deserve our smile, they deserve our warm welcome, and maa ngi leen a ñaanal yàlla defal leen jàmm defal leen lépp loo xam ne bëgg nañ ko ci seen xol. I love and appreciate them immensely, and they keep me going. My customers are the ones that keep me going. Yes, they inspire me.
Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.
Welcome back from that short video of the entrepreneur, and that was the CEO of Skincare. Now to one of my favorite segments of the show, which is our special guest. Today we have Miss Catherine Gaima Cisse, who is a mental health professional and also the CEO and founder of the Organization for Psychological Innovation, a mental health organization dedicated to working in local communities to raise awareness and provide free education, advocacy, and support programs on mental health to those who need it, which I find really interesting. But welcome, Miss, to the brunch.
Thank you.
So tell us, what is mental health all about?
Mental health, essentially, as defined by the WHO, is a state of psychological and emotional well-being. Essentially, it's when psychologically your cognition, where you perceive life, is okay. It's also about your emotions, how you express your emotions. You know, some people, they express their emotions healthily. Other people, they find it a little problematic expressing their emotions. They get really angry, or they're unable to, they get sad, but they're unable to express that sadness. So essentially, mental health has to do with your psychological and emotional well-being.
Wow. Yeah. So, Jordan, from a little background that we have of you, you are the CEO of an organization called Organization for Psychological Innovation. What inspired you to get into this? I understand that you have a psychological background, but what motivated you to actually come up with such brilliant initiative?
Because over the time since got back to the Gambia, I noticed that there's this really huge gap when it comes to mental health. I noticed this mostly from my lectures in class. Like, my students really didn't understand the concept of psychology, the concept of mental health. And we also have stigma when it comes to mental health. So people have mental illnesses, go through mental health issues, but they don't really quite understand what it is, or they have nobody to talk to, they have nowhere to go to, because people will judge them. And most of the time in the Gambia, we think that only schizophrenia, what we say DOF, is actually called schizophrenia. That's the only mental illness. But there's like a whole wide range of mental illnesses. So depression is a mental illness, anxiety is a mental illness, substance abuse is a mental illness. So my hope with this organization, why I started it was, I'm hoping that, you know, I can, I think the entire team at Organization for Psychosocial Innovation, we can spread awareness. We can get people to know more about different mental health issues and mental illness, because there is a difference. They'll get to open up. There won't be that stigma. So people, because since we started, people have been coming up to me, telling me, you know, I've been going through this, I've experienced this, I've had depression. And initially, people don't talk about this. So I was like, do people even in the Gambia experience these things? I mean, the data is there, the statistics is there, but people don't open up. But since this started, people are opening up. And for me, that is something that says a lot. So this is much needed in the Gambia, especially with the psychosocial support as well.
Yes.
Let me play dummy here. How does somebody get mad? Like, how will I be talking with Mustafa today? We do everything together, or a friend in the street, and suddenly tomorrow I see him talking to himself and sitting at his corners, or getting violent. What can lead to this? How does it happen?
First of all, to enlighten you, since you say you're coming from a dummy perspective, it's called schizophrenia. So in psychology, we don't use the term mad. We say the person has schizophrenia. And there are a whole wide range of risk factors. And that's the thing with mental illness. It's not just one thing that causes a mental illness. So for example, when it comes to physical illness like malaria, we know it's a mosquito. When it comes to schizophrenia, it could be so many different factors. We have a model called the biopsychosocial model. So it could be biological, your genes. So you could inherit it from your parents.
What about if my mother was not mad?
Look, the thing is, you can have the genes, but it won't manifest itself. It's like a combination of factors that actually come to work together to cause it to happen. So for example, if your mother has the gene, but she doesn't have schizophrenia, and she passes it on to you, you may or may not, you know, develop schizophrenia based on your life and, for example, your social life, your environmental life. So if you go through a lot of stresses, it might trigger the gene. If, for example, you have problems, you know, with your social life, how you interact with people, you go through a lot of anxiety, it might trigger it. So that's what we mean by biopsychosocial. Also your cognition, you know, how you think about things, because people perceive life differently. Somebody can come, for example, and hit, you know, you're passing and they hit you over here. You have the choice to either say, you know, maybe he didn't see me, and just go on. Or you can say, and then you can overreact. So all of these things affect and can trigger the gene. There's a whole bunch of different things. And also things like when you how should I say this? When you expose yourself to substance abuse, it can also trigger, because if you have the gene, for example, because it fits under psychosis. Because under psychosis, we have a whole range of disorders. Schizophrenia is a type of psychosis. So substance abuse can also trigger schizophrenia.
Like smoking cannabis or taking
marijuana.
money.
Exactly.
That's common. That's very common here.
Exactly, yeah.
Since your other part of activities, awareness, how would you think? Because last time there was a statistic in one of the papers about how many people have mental illness in Gambia. Oh my God, I said, everybody in the Gambia has gone mad. The statistic was so scary. But like you said, it is different types. You consider different types of mental illness, and you consider them all as mental illness.
Yes.
We, or me and my friend from Balibu, always get somebody who is mad and talking to himself, or, or carrying a stick is the one we consider to be mad.
Right.
Since your activity involves awareness, and you mentioned cannabis, because that is the common drug here, and every village you go is smoked there widely.
Right.
And it is now confirmed that it's a possible or a certain cause of madness, or whatever you call it. How can we you get this, how is the message going around? These things are definitely dangerous.
The idea is to raise awareness. That's the most thing, to educate and to raise awareness. When we educate, especially at the school level, and that's one thing that we hope to advocate for, to have a mental health curriculum in schools. Because when we have mental health curriculums in schools and we educate kids about the dangers of, drugs, including cannabis, they're more likely to be able to stand up and say no to it. But the thing is, a lot of the time, these people don't realize the effects because they listen to all this music, ganja this, ganja that, and it makes them feel good. And they feel as if, and the thing is, it's tricky because not everybody who smokes marijuana will end up having schizophrenia.
Yes.
Like we said, it depends because our brain chemistry is different, our genetic combinations are different. So you might smoke marijuana and end up with schizophrenia. Somebody else will smoke it and they will not end up with schizophrenia. It will affect them because it's a chemical, but it will be different. So the whole idea is to educate, especially the young ones, and then raise awareness to everybody else, telling them that these are the dangers of smoking marijuana. Not just even going having schizophrenia, but it affects things like your attention, it affects your reaction to different machinery, you're slower. And the thing about drugs is when you take drugs, you think it's doing this to you because it changes your perception, but actually it's doing that. Like some people, like I like to tell my class, my students, people, when they smoke really hard drugs, or when they take really hard drugs, for example, they think they can fly. But we all know they can't fly. So it's the same thing, you take marijuana and you think, oh my God, I'm so much smarter, but you're not so much smarter, you're actually slower. So we need to educate and make people aware of these different issues and the different effects of drugs in them. Because when they're aware, they're less likely to use these drugs as well.
So
go ahead, Mustafa.
So when you go to the Gambian society, I mean, quite a lot of time I see a lot of people who have what you call schizophrenia, talking to yourself or being violent at some times. And what people do or their reactions are usually is to take them to a Malabo or something and say, oh, this guy is struggling with some, So, I mean, do you talk to people about mental health and their reactions are, we have a Malabo to go to?
We haven't met anybody like that yet, but there are a lot of them out there. And the unfortunate thing is when they go through all these other channels, they actually make it so much harder for the person to recover. Because usually with mental illnesses like schizophrenia, we have different severity of schizophrenia. You have mild, you have moderate, and you have severe. So when you catch it early and you show compassion to the person, you give the person medication, you give the person care, it's easy to contain the symptoms. Then when you just prolong it, you stigmatize the person, you ostracize them, which is why we have that problem with the Gambia. People start talking to themselves and they get ostracized. And once they get ostracized, it actually worsens the symptoms. But once they're taken care of, because I watched this TED talk of this lady, she started to have symptoms of schizophrenia when she was about 18. That's when it usually starts, around 18 years old. And she was lucky enough, her family supported her. She had access to good medication. She was in university. She completed her university with schizophrenia. She went on to do a law degree and a PhD in psychology with schizophrenia. So when we catch it early And if people are aware, that's why the organization says psychosocial, because we don't want to just target people with the problem. We want to target those who are affected indirectly, like the family, the friends. Because if you know, oh wait, this person is talking to themselves, they must be starting to have this and that.
Right.
Then they start to show compassion. Then they try to find ways to help that person. There's a high chance that, you know, the disease progressing will be, you know, will be stopped. So that's the problem that we...
But if you look at our situation in the Gambia, like I was saying, I've seen a lot of statistics, but they are quite old. Some as far as early 2000s.
Right.
And there is one by the WHO that states that about 120,000 Gambians are mentally ill. And that was back in, I think, early 2000s.
Right.
When Gambia's population was about 1.4 million. So you can imagine the state now. And this thing says, out of that 120,000 people, all 90% of them have no access to treatment.
Right, yeah.
You can imagine. So in a country where we're dealing with these huge statistics, scary one, and yet we don't have a clinical psychologist.
Yeah, first of all, if I'm not mistaken, that was a projection. The WHO statistic, that was a projection, because I did talk to Mr. Sonko, and he mentioned how it's actually way less than that. But
how it could be lesser than that?
Yes, but we do have a problem with human resource and capacity when it comes to treating these issues. So a lot of people still are out there with mental illnesses, but they don't have access to human resources or to medication. But at the same time, when it comes to psychology, when it comes to mental illnesses, it's not just the medication. The support is very important. The psychosocial support is very important. Because something like depression, researchers found out that people are likely to recover from depression just through psychosocial support, just through therapy. And that is why one of the things that we are planning to work on or planning to start as support groups. So you have depression, you have depression, you have depression, I have depression. We all come together and we talk about these issues. We open up about them. It really goes, exactly, it goes a long way in helping people with their issues, dealing with their issues. So that's one of the ways that we're hoping to at least feel in the, you know, the lack of human resources by providing support groups. But we do have a huge problem when it comes to human resource and capacity.
Now, talk to us about the youth in the country. I mean, we know that when Gambia is also, we have a unemployment problem, but also we have a higher level of poverty. You have people coming back from Libya who've experienced war or seen people dying in some instances. And they went with the intention of making it alive, and they came back depressed, things like that. You may imagine such people need a therapy.
Of course they do.
But then again, you come to a society that looks at you in a specific way. I mean, it perhaps reminds us how urgent we may need people like you in the society to start talking to or inviting people, organizing therapies for people who may need them.
Yeah, and all the things you mentioned are actually risk factors. You know, going back way and coming back and being deported. It's a risk factor for depression. It's a risk factor for schizophrenia, because you mentioned earlier what causes these things. That's from the environment, biopsychosocial. That's from the social aspect, because they're thinking, I went back, my mom, my dad used so much money to make me go, and now I'm back here with nothing. So obviously these people need therapy, and the support groups that we're trying to come up with are support groups for everybody. So you have support groups for people with depression, support groups for people who have come back from the back way, support groups for people with anxiety, support groups for family members who have somebody with schizophrenia. So it's not, like I said again, not just the person with a mental illness, but even those who are affected. So your mom, her mom, his mom, they all come together, my child has schizophrenia. Yeah, me too, it has been so hard. And they talk about it. This is what I went through, this is what I did. And it's like a shoulder for each one to lean on. And that really goes a long way in helping.
Now, let me ask him one more question. There are a lot of young people like me who do multitasking. In other words, I will come to explain how we do this. Like, you do one work and do another work. Maybe you are working from morning until 8, mostly. Sometimes you even have to write on paper things that you need to do so that you don't forget some. And you go home at 8, you start attire and perhaps continue work, even at home. Yeah, and you always on your laptop. If you are a journalist, you always like that. So, I mean, can that cause Please say no.
No, okay, no, it will not. Like I said before, we're all, when it comes to mental health issues, it's a spectrum.
Okay.
So on the one end of the spectrum, let's see, look at it as green. If you go towards the middle, it's yellow, orange, and then red.
Okay.
So most of us are on the green part, where it's, you know, mental well-being.
Okay.
As we go towards the yellow part, these are the people who experience symptoms. So specific symptoms like insomnia, like sadness, but then they don't have a mental illness. Then you go to the very end, they're the ones who have clusters of symptoms together that happen for a duration of time that is diagnosable. Then we diagnose them with schizophrenia, with psychosis, with bipolar. But what you're going through is your lifestyle, but it could affect your mental health. It doesn't mean you will have mental illness, but it could affect your mental health because your health is also linked to your mental health. So you're overstressing yourself.
Like you can be easily forgetful. Something like that.
Yeah, it could make it might cause anxiety, for example, but it doesn't mean you will end up with a mental illness. It depends, like there's so many factors. If you have some other things bothering you, it might just be a trigger for that, yeah.
Now, all of you lamented, of course, that there are not many people in the business of attending, by way of professionals, attending to the people who might be in this kind of problems. So you are also lecturing. How much is enthusiasm among Gambians to take a course on these things? So I'm talking about the future. Will we still have shortage of personnel dealing with this kind of thing?
I don't think so, because, not to blow my horn, but usually by the end of the semester, a lot of my students have expressed interest in wanting to do psychology. Because when I lecture, I don't just focus on giving information. I focus on trying to connect issues to our own situation here and how it's important or why it's important. And most of them see the benefits of it. So I have a lot of students, and actually my organization is made up of my students. Because when I started it, I asked them, I didn't just want to have an organization again for just, another organization. I wanted to really involve those who are interested in psychology so that that interest will continue, because we don't really have a major in the University for Psychology. But at least if they're part of an organization that focuses on mental health, that will hopefully sustain that motivation and will at least, help them to continue with it for their master's degree on forward.
You mentioned stigmatization can worsen problems. People have the fear that for those patients who might be violent, normally, ironically, the people who are more compassionate to them are the people they harm. So people tend to run away from that. Because if a madman doesn't know you, doesn't deal with you, you probably safe from any harm that may come from him. But if you every day you meet him or her, the more compassionate you are, the more likely that you're going to be the victim of his violent outburst one day. And people tend to be far away from their own kin. That's the problem.
It depends on the severity and the symptoms of the individual. And that's another, I like to say, beauty of mental illness. We can all have schizophrenia, but we will never have the same symptoms. And that's why mental illness is so complex. We can all have depression, but the cause of depression is different. So maybe some of these people, they're paranoid. One of the symptoms of schizophrenia is paranoia, where they feel somebody's out to get them, somebody's out to kill them, somebody's out to steal their money. And most of the time, it's like they have it's not like they have a voice in their head, and the voice usually, somebody who has schizophrenia said it was like a loudspeaker in their head. So it's like the voice saying, your mom is going to kill you, your mom is going to kill you. So usually these are people they already know in their heads, and that's why they experience that towards them. Especially if they have severe schizophrenia, they actually have a chance to be violent. That's true.
Now let me ask you this.
What do you do with these violent people? Because I have seen a case where somebody's threatened to be violent. I have a case like this, close to family that ended in a tragedy back in '99. But I've seen others there who would take their violent, mad people to Tanga, and after a while they would say, you take them away, because the more we kick them, the more they get worse. Yet if you take them away, you're not guaranteed that they won't violate again.
Yeah, unfortunately for those with severe schizophrenia, the best way to deal with them is to take them to hospitalize them. to protect them and to protect other people, because
What,
they can
how
harm
long?
themselves. Well, it
What's
depends,
one
on,
of the
it
symptoms?
depends on the situation. It depends on the situation, because like I said, we have different severities. So for those who are mild or who have moderate schizophrenia, it's easier for them to be with us. They still have the symptoms, but it's easier for them to contain it, especially with medication and people who care about them. And they will still act, you know, some ways at home. And that is why it's important to educate also the family, so they know when they're going through this, they're able to bear with it. It's not easy. But for those with severe schizophrenia, it's usually better, especially if they're harming themselves or harming other people, to hospitalize them, yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Okay. How is mental health related to stress? Because a lot of us work a lot. Some even take workload to their homes, and some even, you know, they really do not have enough time to whatever they are doing, but because of the gravity, similarly to what you had asked, what would you say this is? Is it close to having a mental health issue in that?
It is a mental health problem, because stress affects your hormones, because it actually is when one of your hormones is it's constantly being produced. Okay. Because usually our body has a hormone, cortisol hormone, that's produced in response to stress. So when you constantly overwork yourself or put yourself on an edge, the hormone is constantly being produced. And that's actually affecting the chemistry, your body chemistry. So it can affect your mental health, because when you're stressed out, you're more likely to be irritated or irritable. You're more likely to be to not sleep well. You're more likely to have insomnia. So you don't have a mental illness, but you remember the spectrum I talked about? So you're suffering from different symptoms or specific symptoms of mental issues. So you're not mentally well, but you're not mentally ill as well.
Mustafa, before you comment shortly, I am interested in mental health because of the rate at which we have it in the country. Right. But I also want to find out, what is your organization doing to, it's an organization. Have you guys tried to talk to any government offices in relations to the policies that they have for mental health cases in this country? And if so, what strategies do you have to put in play to make sure that this is attainable?
Yeah, so if you read the organization profile, one of our aims is, or one of our missions is to drive advocacy when it comes to policies. So we haven't really started that, because what we want to do is research. Okay. Because when it comes to policy, you cannot just get up and say, okay, we want this.
That's right.
You first have to do research. We want to find out what is on ground, what are people going through, what is needed, what is lacking, what are the issues when it comes to mental health and mental illness. And then we can now go and say, okay, we would like for this to be a policy, or we would like for this policy to be changed. So we have somebody who just joined us actually, and he will be in charge of doing research on the ground to find out, because you can, like I said, you cannot just go up and say, okay, we want this policy to be changed just based on hearsay. Because psychology is a science, and anything that we do, it has to be based on scientific research.
Of course. Still on the mental health case, I just want to share this little thing with you. I know a couple of, you call this schizophrenia, right? I know a lot of people that are affected with schizophrenia, and mostly what I have noticed with them is when you try to have a conversation, I mean the ones on the street, that some people will term them as aggressive individuals because of their mental state. But when I get close to them and have certain conversations with them, then I realize that some of them are actually saying a lot of sense, despite the fact that they're wearing very filthy clothes and all of that. What will be the stand of your organization to helping people like that are on the street? Some of them go off and on. What would your organization do to really reduce the amount of such individuals on the streets?
That's something that's really huge, and we look at a really huge task. One of the things that we hope to do in the hopefully near future, not right now, is to see how we can get these people in for support groups as well. Because they're out there, they have nobody to talk to, people have abandoned them. But when they have a chance to come, for example, maybe once a week, talk to each other. We provide them with food, for example, provide them with, money to buy whatever they need, toiletries. This will show them that somebody cares about you. It might not, of course, get the schizophrenia to go away 100%.
Of course.
But it will really help to alleviate some of the symptoms, hopefully, and make it a little bit more manageable.
So if you look at our facilities that are addressing the issue of mental health, I think we have only Tanka in the Gambia, the issue of mental health. So, I mean, probably it may make some sense, I don't know, wouldn't it, if people like you who are interested in helping these people actually extend some help to the only facility the country has in addressing this kind of issue.
Yeah, we hope to do that. Like I said, we're hoping to do a lot of different things. Actually, on tomorrow, we're hoping to go there to talk to them, to also give them a few sanitary items. We printed some T-shirts as well for mental illness awareness, to get people aware. I got my students to buy them. So we're hoping that tomorrow will be the start towards offering support, reaching out to them, and seeing how we can collaborate together with them to help these different individuals on whatever level it is. Either by providing, one-to-one support, going there, talking to the patients, or, just going there, giving them things that will make them feel better, making them feel human, because a lot of the time when they're there, because somebody told me a story when somebody had a problem, they took him there, he told his family member, your finger ma isi. So so everybody thinks tanka is like the worst case. So at least let them know that it's just a hospital to help you with whatever you're going through, and we are here to show you that you're still human.
Now I want to take you to the point, you being a lecturer. Having lectured for a number of years at the University of the Gambia as a psychology lecturer, have you noticed in any of your class of any of your students that are affected with schizophrenia or any other depression, you name it, any mental health issue? And if yes, how have you been able to tackle such?
Yes, I have not schizophrenia, of course, but I have had students come to me with depression, with anxiety, with obsessive compulsive disorder. And fortunately and unfortunately, some of them, I lost them halfway, and even substance abuse disorder as well. And I managed to help them, give them talk therapy. One of them was a success. I hope he's still off the drugs, but he managed to stay off the drugs. And mostly because of the time, I also, I have an office where they can come to, and I also offer online technology. So we do talk therapy via WhatsApp, for example, because that's something that's being used now in many different countries, where you can talk to a therapy via WhatsApp. And I think it's really good because some people are ashamed to just open up. But behind the phone, they're able to open up and talk more about what they're going through. And it has been quite a success.
Finally, you said, and I want this to be clear, maybe by way of awareness, Mustafa told you about certain people's perception of it. They take the person who is getting mad to local or herbal treatment. According to you, there is no herbal treatment for this. It has to be psychologically or scientific medicines take care of it, isn't it?
Yeah, the reason why I say no herbs is because there is no scientific evidence to show that it actually works. I mean, if there was scientific evidence, it would be like, sure, go ahead. But there's no scientific evidence. So it's better to come for therapy, either psychological therapy or to use pharmacological, to give them medication, depending on the severity. But most of the time with psychological cases, we prefer to first use, therapy, then go into medication, because sometimes some of these medications have side effects. So it's better to start off with therapy, and if it's really not working,
So perhaps on this safara, no chance?
No, because the more you go there, the more time you're wasting. So it's better as soon as you notice something is going off, something is going wrong, symptoms or signs, you go to a professional, a scientific professional.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that insightful one. It will be nice to know who our special guest is, who is Miss Ngaima. So what we do, we have a special segment of the show where we want our audience to know who you are, who is Miss Ngaima Cisse.
Should I be scared?
Nah, don't be scared.
Okay.
So before that comes, we'll take you to the hotspot of the day, and it is at the Guardian restaurant, which is located at Bigelow. Let's watch what they have for us.
Job laa tudd waaye as dama ñëpp di ooyee The Garden restaurant waaw in Bigelow. lekka yi ñu dee jaay fii burgers like European am nañ burgers am nañ chicken and chips, fish and chips, shawarma, chicken and bread crumbs. Local bi dañ dee am kaw fuuta cere at ñambe ñebe at afra. So lunch tamit dinañ dee serve lunch di def local food, Gambian food.
Garden restaurant, the name says it is full of nature, the place, first of all, and secondly, customer service very well with a lot. And the owner of the place also is just like an uncle to me, so I like him and I like it.
Suñ plus mooy garden bi, you know, the garden because of xëy na soo ñëwee ci Sénégambia area bi yëpp amul any place bu mel ni fii, so usually su lay demee off nit ñi dañ dee prefer pour nekk ci garden bi, you know, amee seen laptop yi browse at yooyu. So li ñu desee rek mooy xëy na ñu dugal wifi pour attract more customers at yeneen amenities. Especially su season bi nekkee on because ñi dee jógee Europe yëpp fii lañ dee wàcca ku jógee America, Sweden, England, anywhere foo jógee ci Europe gi fii la gaay de bëgg a ñëw because of suñ friends yi nekk ci biti tam ñoo dee promote place bi. Am na time last year defoon nañ ko ci Facebook bi, you know, ñu bari fa lañ ko xamee. Naka nga ñëwee fii it's very simple because su fekkee ne Sénégambie nga jógee soo ne Atlas petrol station wala turntable it's very easy to find nekkuñ ci roxa yi at yooyu we lucky na ñu ngi ci kaw tali bi.
This is the hotspot. It is a hotspot, and this place is indeed a hotspot.
So bëggee hotspot foo bëgg a ñëw coolaat am nice food at nice environment, garden bi mooy di hotspot in Bigelow.
Garden restaurant is the best spot in town.
Make a difference and text CAR to 900 to win a car with Gamcell. Gamcell and Rotary Club of Bruceby brings you a chance to win a brand new SUV Corando. The more you text, the more chances you win. Join Gamcell today for your chance to win a car, fridge freezers, televisions, smartphones, and lots of cash prizes. Draws will be held live on GRTS TV. Proceeds will be used to help the humanitarian activities of the Rotary Club of Bruceby in the Gambia. Every SMS costs $10. Your SMS could save someone's life. Join us and text CAR to 900 today. A brand new SUV Corando awaits you. Rotary, making a difference. Gamcell, Yai Borom.
Welcome back from the hotspot, which is the Guardian restaurant located in Bigelow. So now to one of my, my favorite segments of the show is Who Am I? So what we do on this special segment is we'll allow our viewers to get to know who Ms. Ngaima is, and then we'll give you a surprise questionnaire so we can actually know who is Ms. Ngaima. Are you ready for this segment? No. Are you ready?
Okay, I am.
I'm glad you are. So the first question reads, what 3 words best describes you?
What 3 words best describe me? I am... why should this should be really hard. Okay, I'm creative.
Creative.
I am outgoing.
Outgoing.
And I think the last one would be it shouldn't be hard. So I'm creative, I'm outgoing, and I love to have fun.
Okay.
Yes.
So the second one reads, who are your heroes?
My heroes. Wow. I don't know if I have specific heroes. Like, I think everyday people are my heroes because I really admire what people go through every day and are able to overcome. Because especially when I read stories, real stories of people who have done things and it speaks to me, I feel like everybody is a hero. It's hard for me to say this person is my hero.
Okay. So what is your most vivid childhood memory?
Reading. I was a bookworm. I spent like literally almost my entire day just reading books. I will read usually 2 or 3 books in a day. So I think that's the most vivid thing I can remember about my childhood.
Lovely. What is the funniest thing that have ever happened to you?
I guess it's an embarrassing question, right? The most embarrassing thing. Funny thing. I went to a party when I was a kid and I was dancing. I think it was the Yusuf Sangya Mustafa. And I just did a twirl and I just fell on the floor. Yeah, I think it's the most funny thing. Yeah.
Well, indeed. that was quite funny.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah. What's the best thing that have ever happened to you?
Best thing. So many things. I can't really put a finger on. My kids maybe. My kids, yeah, they're awesome. They're annoying. They're awesome. Yeah.
Well, that's the joy of being a mother.
Yeah.
The next question reads, what's your favorite Gambian dish?
That's a tie between Supakanja and Benachin. I can't choose. It has to be Supakanja or Benachin. I don't know. One of the two.
All right. What is the one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
Should I cover my face now? I don't know. What should they surprised to know? These are tough questions. These are really tough questions. Can I give it a pass?
No. No.
This is a personal question.
Okay, let me give you a hint.
Okay.
You know, getting into the uni, a lot of people have a certain perception about Catherine Gaima Sisi.
Yeah.
That she is tough, or she is nice, or she is in between.
Okay,
so which are you?
I'll use that one. Okay. But this is going to spoil everything for my students. Yeah, a lot of the time my students, they think I'm tough. I'm infamous at school or the university because they think I'm tough. But actually, I'm not tough. It's the course. Psychology is a reading course. It has a lot of notes. And the way I test them is to see if they're understanding practically. But my class is actually fun. I joke a lot in class. I play around a lot. I think I'm very easygoing in class, but people think I'm tough, and it's just a facade. I think I just have this facade where people, see me and think I'm soft or I'm very aware, but I'm actually very easygoing. So
Wow.
people will be surprised that I'm actually cool. And
Wow, interesting. Yeah. So what can't you do without?
What can I do without? I don't want to say my phone. Maybe chocolate. Yes, chocolate. I love chocolate. I can't do without chocolate.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? That's my final question.
Wow, 10 years. I'm hoping in 10 years that I will become either a clinical psychologist or neuropsychologist. I'm hoping that Organization for Psychosocial Innovation will have gone, I know this is not me, but that's my hope for it, based on how I, work in it. I'm hoping that I can make psychology and mental health, be something huge, as in stigma-free. People are more aware about it. People are more open up more about it. Anybody can go into a physical health facility and say, oh, I have depression, oh, I have anxiety.
Right.
So I see myself in the next 10 years, being a revolutionary, can I say that? Being revolutionary in the field of mental health. Yeah.
In the Gambia.
In the Gambia and in Africa. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ngaima, and welcome to the brunch once more. But before we take a leave of you, what would be your final words to our viewers?
I want to say, let's try to work towards making mental health stigma-free, mental illness stigma-free in the Gambia. I also want to say, if somebody is going through whatever issue it is, don't be ashamed to talk about it. And if you know somebody who's going through something, try to also open up, accept them. It's very important, because that's why a lot of people are afraid to open up. I've had people texting me, calling me, saying they're afraid to open up because, they haven't one to talk to. If you want to talk to me personally, or you want to come into contact with our organization, you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at OPI Gambia, You can also call me, I hope I can get my number. You can also call me on 3850-290, 3850-290.
Thank you very much, and it was such a pleasure having you.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Lamin Cham, what will be your final words to our viewers?
I was trying not to go mad with all the scary causes that he said could cause it, things like stress. We do journalists every day. But I think, I found her interventions very, 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 very instructive. And me and Mustafa are mindful, not overstretched ourselves.
Interesting. Mustafa?
I can't be mindful, not overstretched. I'm like used to it. I love this thing.
Find a day every day to go to the beach. The beach is
I go to the beach every weekend. So
good.
Yeah,
you wouldn't go mad.
I hope.
So thank you very much to you, our viewers. It has been a total pleasure being with you. And of course, I believe you've learned something from this week's episode. Do join us next week for another special edition. And I remain your host, Joy Nwama. Bye.
GIA, the Gambia International Airlines, is getting bigger, better, and stronger as the sole ground operator at the Banjul International Airport. With an expansion in travel services, customers are assured of GIA's capacity to cater for all their travel needs, provided by professional, experienced, and ever-smiling staff. GIA's Hajj package and services, by far the best in the country, give the customers the opportunity for a memorable Hajj experience. For a more efficient cargo services, GIA means business as it launches its new multi-million-dollar ultra-modern cargo complex to revitalize and stimulate air transport. GIA, the pride of the Gambia.
Make a difference and text CAR CAR to 900 to win a car with Gamcell. Gamcell and Rotary Club of Bruceby brings you a chance to win a brand new SUV Corando. The more you text, the more chances you win. Join Gamcell today for your chance to win a car, fridge freezers, televisions, smartphones, and lots of cash prizes. Draws will be held live on GRTS TV. Proceeds will be used to help the humanitarian activities of the Rotary Club of Bruceby in the Gambia. Every SMS costs $10. Your SMS could save someone's life. Join us and text CAR CAR to 900 today. A brand new SUV Corando awaits you. Rotary, making a difference. Gamcell, Yai Borom.
Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.